ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतिरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। ओम ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Okay. 1924। स देवदेवो भगवान् प्रतीक्षताम् कलेवरं यावद् इदं शिनोमि अहम् प्रसन्नहासारुण लोचनोल्लसन् मुखाम्भुज मुखाम्बुज ध्यान पथस् चतुर्भुजः। May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face, prasanna hasa aruna lochana, with eyes as red as the rising sun. Aruna lochana, aruna sun, lochana means eyes. Ullasat, beautifully decorated. Mukha ambujaha, lotus face, beautifully decorated lotus face. Dhyanapataha Chaturbhujaha, four-handed form. So Bhishmadev is describing that Krishna that he is seeing. What is the form of that Krishna he is seeing? He is four-handed. He has a beautifully decorated lotus face. Mukhambuja, with eyes as red as rising sun. Aruna Lochana. And is smiling. Hasa, Prasanna Hasa. He is smiling, he is cheerful. May my Lord kindly await me at the moment when I quit this material body. Kalevaram yavad idam hinomi. Hinomi means giving up. Quit. So, Bhishmadev is seeing his Ishtadeva. He is seeing his Ishtadeva in Krishna. Prabhupada says in the purport, Bhishmadeva knew well that Lord Krishna is the original Narayana. His worshipable deity was four-handed Narayana. Partha Sarathi. But he knew that four-handed Narayana is a plenary expansion of Lord Krishna. Indirectly, he desired Lord Krishna to manifest himself in his four-handed feature of Narayana. So he was saying in the previous verse, like that Krishna is present in front. Now he had no confusion about Krishna and Vishnu. Like many people today have confusion. So he's saying, yeah, you're Krishna, but because you're the original Narayana, I can see my Ishtadeva also. And he's seeing that four-handed form. Kindly await me, because Krishna was present there. So clearly he's saying, he is my Lord, he's four-handed, let him await me at that moment when I quit this body. Some of these we can remember, right? If we have to describe Krishna's form. Anyway, another very nice word is Deva Devo. He is Deva Devaha, Lord of the Lords, and he is Bhagavan, Supreme Personality. Prasanna Hasa. So we can remember this. Whenever we think about Krishna, we should remember these characteristics. Prasanna Hasa, meaning cheerful, smiling face. Also, Ullasan Mukha Ambuja. Ullasan means beautifully decorated. Mukha Ambuja is lotus flower of his face. Aruna Lochana, his eyes red like morning sun. So you can remember these three adjectives. Prasanna Hasa, Aruna Lochana, Ullasat, Mukha Ambuja, and Chaturbuja. That is for Narayana. But rest of the features are same. A Vaishnava is always humble in his behavior. Mm, mm. He is always humble. So I can talk about myself because I'm not always humble. I cannot call myself a Vaishnava because a Vaishnava is always humble. Although it was 100% certain that Bhishmadeva was approaching Vaikuntha Dham just after leaving his material body. Still, as a humble Vaishnava, he desired to see the beautiful face of the Lord, for after quitting the present body, he might not be in a position to see the Lord anymore. He's just in a humble position. He's thinking, oh, maybe I will not be able to see the Lord. But he was anyway going to Vaikuntha, so definitely he would have seen the same form there. Hmm. But he desired to see that beautiful form now because he's humble. He's thinking, no, 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 I might not go to the spiritual world at all. A Vaishnava is not puffed up. Although the Lord guarantees his pure devotee entrance into his abode, he is not puffed up. He's saying, see, I know I will go back to Godhead. Of course, if you say I will go back to Godhead, I'm sure. Because Prabhupada has said, then uh, it's still humility because we're not depending on our own ability. And we have full faith in our Acharya. So it is good. But thinking that I will achieve something, that is not humility. And which is why actually Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said this Trinada Pisunichena because actually while living in this material world, it is very difficult to remain humble. Now I had some new devotees I was preaching to, and I spoke to them about tolerance. And they couldn't understand, they couldn't appreciate it at all. Because in this material world, we are always trained to think that we are the doers, that we are in control, which is completely opposite to the mindset of a Vaishnava. So really, if you have to become a Vaishnava, that is why Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that that verse is like one should wear that verse Trinada Pisunichena, like a necklace around his neck all the time. Meaning all the time we should keep remembering, oh, I should be humble, I should be humble, I should be humble. Always this humility we have to remember. Standard definition of humility. When it comes to other people dealing with me, I should be humble. When it comes to dealing with other jivas and Vaishnavas, I should be respectful and humble. When it comes to dealing with when somebody is blaspheming or troubling devotees, then we don't have to remain. That humility is false humility. And also another definition of humility is willingness to follow instructions of Guru and Krishna. That is also humility. Prabhupada defines it in Bhagavad Gita. Here, Bhishma Deva says, as long as I do not quit this body, this means that the great general would quit the body by his own will. He was not being forced by the laws of nature because he had got that benediction. He was so powerful that he could stay in his body as long as he desired. He got this benediction from his father. He desired that the Lord stay before him in his four-handed Narayana feature so that he might concentrate upon him and thus be in trance in that meditation. Now, Bhishma Dev is so fortunate, isn't it? Krishna is present in front of him. He's desiring to see that Chaturbuja form, his Istadeva. And he can choose to be in that state, and so that he might concentrate upon him, thus be in trance in that meditation. And then when he's in that trance, when he's in trance, then he can decide to give up his body. So perfect. Unfortunately, we are all now not so fortunate. So we have to practice. And like, I mean, I keep thinking every time I have some kind of sickness, etc. I keep thinking, saying that, in that, when I'm going through some suffering, how much do I try hard to think about Krishna? Mm. We just, at least I'm trying hard to get over that misery, that suffering. Okay, if I'm coughing, then I'm trying to see, okay, what can I do to reduce that coughing? But where on Krishna, where will you concentrate upon Krishna? Our attention is fully towards the material body, and that will just be one such another occurrence. That's all. When body is going through trouble, and then that's it. The trouble stops. It's time for us to give up the body. But are we going to concentrate upon Krishna at that time? Have to think about this. So what do we have to do if we have to concentrate, if we have to think about Krishna at that time? What should our state of mind be, or what will prevent us from thinking about Krishna? Any thoughts? What are things in our life which possibly are preventing us from thinking about Krishna?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhu, I think at the early age, how much ever bhakti we are able to do and devotional service, I think that can be the support what can come towards when we are at the towards the end of our life.
Okay.
And also one more statement what is being told is, if you can't remember, I will ensure, or I will remember you, is what also Krishna says towards our deathbed. So that's one more aspect.
Okay. What else? What are the things in our life today which are preventing us, or which might prevent us from thinking about Krishna at the time of death?
Prabhuji, doing service to the family and not serving Krishna, always service to the family, that means we are not attached to Krishna's service. That also might prevent us.
Okay. So, but this we have to understand slightly. If we are doing service to a Vaishnava family, then it is service to Krishna. Meaning, if people in the house are devotees, serving them, we should serve in the mood of serving Vaishnavas. Then it is service to Krishna. But if you are serving non-devotees, then yes, then it may be, right? But it's not mandatory, because Krishna himself has given this path of prescribed duties, right? So we shouldn't think that because I'm serving my family, I will not be able to serve to Krishna. We are serving Krishna by serving our family, but without attachment. But we have to do that without material attachment. We should do that with spiritual attachment. What is the difference between material attachment and spiritual attachment? How does it manifest? I mean, how does a person who has spiritual attachment show it, and how does a person who has material attachment show it? Give a simple example.
Pranam Prabhuji.
Pranam.
It's like on material attachment, we see others as bodies, like we see the relationship, bodily relationship.
Yeah, bodily
And in
relations. Okay.
spiritual attachment, we see that they are jivas and part and parcels of Supreme Lord. we have to serve them.
Yeah. So a simple example is, for example, if suppose say if we are thinking about, okay, we are doing service in our house and we are thinking, oh, this is my son, this is my daughter, this is my husband, this is my wife, then this is material, right? If we just, if we have the same, if we take care of our family, or if we take care of devotees, other devotees in the same mood as we are taking care of our family, then we are on the spiritual platform. Meaning, for example, say somebody in our house is not well, um, we will take interest, right, to help them out. Suppose say I take interest for other devotees also, irrespective of whether they're not part of my house, right? It say somebody else's son, somebody else's daughter, somebody else's whatever, right? So if a person is able to mm, show the same compassion or affection towards all devotees to start with, and of course, I mean, when we go much above, then we might show the same compassion to all jivas, then that's on the spiritual platform. Then that spiritual platform, that will not prevent us from thinking about Krishna at the time of death. Okay, I just wanted to clarify that. Okay, what else might prevent us from thinking about Krishna?
Material
Yeah,
entanglement,
Pratyusha.
Prabhu.
Yeah, material entanglement. What does that mean?
I mean, desire to have any material.
Yeah, desire to have material things, material attachments. Okay. Pratyusha Mataji.
Prabhu, I was wondering when it comes to the spiritual attachment for the family,
Mm-hmm.
we are also not attached to the outcome and expect how they should be. Is it right? I mean, I was wondering, is it okay? Because
Can you
sometimes we
clarify?
think not being attached that they should be nice like our children or any extended family also. That they should, we are not attached that they should be spiritually more advanced or anything like that. Is that a right
Okay, so you're asking if we are not wanting our children to be spiritually advanced. Is that material attachment? Yeah.
okay, Prabhu.
Yeah, because see, irrespective of whether it is our children or somebody else's children, ultimate good of all jiva is that if they become spiritual, right? No. I mean, if we, yeah, okay, it's an interesting thing. Say, suppose say we look at other children and we say you should become spiritual, and we look at our children and say, okay, chill out, right? Then it's interesting. And basically, which means that maybe we are too attached and we are worried that even though we might we want spirituality, but we also think maybe material enjoyment also is important, or maybe there's some fear. Maybe I don't know. I mean, it'll require a little more analysis to answer that question. But yeah, we should
It can
desire
also
everybody to be spiritual.
Prabhu, it is also like we are not doing walk the talk, right? So if that is the situation,
Yeah. I mean, it's true. I mean, yeah. Currently, I mean, yeah, we are in the situation where we are possibly not doing the walk the talk, and we want to get there. And yeah, in that, as part of the progress, there will be a lot of things like these anomalies, as we call, right, which are not normal. But that's the whole idea, right? So, see, at a high level, we all know, okay, we want to go back to Krishna, etc. But what will be those things which will prevent us from thinking about him at the time of death? All these attachments to body, attachments to family, attachments to wealth, attachments to anything which is not devotional will be, right? So, in some sense, we have to practice this because it's not going to happen at the last moment, right? Uh, Krishna will not forget us, right? Krishna is not forgetting us even now. Why are we not thinking about it? Why is that we are saying Krishna will not forget us only at the time of death? Krishna, because he's remembering us, he's giving us situations through which we can actually develop that concentration, that attachment to him. So he's preparing us for that moment, right? And because that moment is going to be a lot more painful. He's preparing us through other smaller situations. So every situation in our life, we should actually, this was my personal realization, yesterday night, saying that uh, when we're unwell, we tend to forget Krishna, right? So it should be like, yeah, okay, I'm not going to try and find any more solution. Okay, something, there's a medicine I'll take, and then I'll still try to concentrate on Krishna. I'll chant Hare Krishna. It's very, very important but difficult. See, because see, things like this, no, we'll get stuck. How is it that Bhishmadeva is able to, he's able to concentrate upon the Lord, and we're not able to do that for even when we are in proper state of health, body also and mind. Then here Prabhupada is saying, then his mind might be sanctified with thinking of the Lord. Thus he did not mind wherever he might go. So he is not thinking about his future. He's just saying, let me just concentrate upon the Narayana future, right? About on the form of the Lord. Where I will go after that, that's okay. I'm not bothered. A pure devotee is never very anxious to go back to the kingdom of God. He entirely depends on the goodwill of the Lord. He's equally satisfied even if the Lord desires him to go to hell. The only desire that a pure devotee entertains is that he may always be in rapt attention with thinking of the lotus feet of the Lord, regardless. Bhishmadeva wanted this much only, that his mind be absorbed in thinking of the Lord, and that he pass away thus. That is the highest ambition of a pure devotee. See, that is the highest ambition. It's not about going back to Krishna. It's about just being able to remember Krishna, being completely absorbed in Krishna when we pass away. Right, and it's important to understand that, like Kulashekar Alvar, famous, I got hooked on to this when I heard this. I don't know how many of you have heard. Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja Panjarantam Adyaiva Me Vishatu Manas Rajahamsa Prana Prayana Samaye Kafavata Pittai Kantavaroda Vido Smaranam Kutaste. So Kulashekar Alvar is saying, Krishna Tvadiya Pada Pankaja. He's saying at the time of death, Kantavarodana is mucus, there is all the elements are disturbed in the body. I may not be able to concentrate my mind upon you. So Kulashekar Alvar is great, you have heard of Alvars, right? Great saints, kingly saints, saintly kings. So he's praying, Krishna, let my mind take me away right now, because now I'm in a healthy condition, and I might be able to think about you. This is the only desire of a pure devotee. Is not to live happily here in this material world. It is to die happily. That is why somebody said, Prabhupada taught us art of dying, how to die. So we have to practice it. It's not going to come by itself, right? And Krishna is giving us those opportunities, those situations for us to practice this. And which is why, I go back to this Varnashrama, because this Varnashrama is actually so nicely designed. Varnashrama, in that after our material responsibilities are over, the Varnashrama system expects us to become unattached to family. Right? First thing is to become unattached to family. Right? Then we will become unattached to the body. Because first is family, right? Then once we give up that attachment to family, then what else attachment is left? The body. Then as we engage in Vanaprastha, we have to give up attachment to the body. So some austerities we are expected to do some austerities. travel to holy places, being little, like whatever. When you're traveling, it's not going to be your best environment situation, right? So giving up that attachment to body and bodily comforts, bodily suffering, that is varnashrama. It's teaching us to get there. But for us, as long as we are doing bhakti and we increase the intensity of bhakti, we should finish our material duties, give up attachment to home, become unattached, first to family, home, uh, property, etc. All that, right? Then ourselves, our body, comfort, all this we have to become unattached. And our process, the beautiful Krishna conscious process of bhakti, is that all these automatically happen if we let ourselves increase, if we let ourselves become more absorbed in Krishna. Automatically this detachment will happen. But what the problem is, because of this attachment becomes a block, becomes an obstacle. Because of this attachment that we have either towards family or towards body comforts, etc., we don't try to increase our attachment to Krishna. That is the problem. But if we don't even worry about it and simply just try to get attached to Krishna as much as possible, because anyway we don't have any material duty to perform, then automatically that attachment to family will go, attachment to body comforts, etc., everything will go, right? So which is why it said simple living high thinking is better. But if we are not able to do simple living high thinking throughout our life, at least we should start it sooner than later, right? Why all this? So that we can get attached to Krishna, so that we can absorb ourselves in Krishna. Otherwise, for us, we do yukta vairagya, right? But if we are attached and we are not able to use that in Krishna service, then we have to try to become detached. Most of us are not able to follow yukta vairagya. Yukta vairagya means anything and everything Krishna has given in his service. Because we are not able to follow that, we are having to give up. Externally, we have to give up some activities, attachments, etc. But if we are able to properly do yukta vairagya, then there is no need to any artificially. We will not be required to give up anything, because we are already in that stage where we are not attached at all, and we are looking at how can I use everything in Krishna service. So it's a very deep thing. Actually, many times, I keep thinking about this. There are two aspects to bhakti. There is one which is the bhakti aspect, then there is another which is the society aspect, right? Or our, as we say, samaj, right? This society where we live, our expectations, family, relatives, etc. There are two parts to it, right? If we are somehow able to just increase our bhakti, irrespective of whatever material situation is, then we'll never have to artificially come to the stage of giving up anything, right? Because if we have been able to just increase our bhakti, that basically means that we are not attached to anything else, right? That is yukta vairagya, which means we are there in the situation, but we are not attached to anything. We are trying to use everything in Krishna service. If we can do that, then it's okay. Because most people are not able to do that, as devotees, we also have to think about this society, this institutions of varnashrama, right? For the simple reason that it will at least give us some guidance for bringing about this detachment, which otherwise will not naturally happen. It's not a natural process like aging, right? Aging is a natural process, or we just age. But giving up detachment to family, body, etc., is not a natural process. So either we do bhakti such that we automatically, by more attachment to Krishna, we give up these attachment to material things, or at some point of time we will have to, like forcefully, or at that stage, try to actually give up that attachment. Otherwise, Krishna is not going to be the single, uh, you know, we won't be able to concentrate upon him, because we will still have other topics to concentrate upon, which could be our family, our body, our wealth, our property, our this, our that, and so many things, right? It's very important to think about both. When we talk about culture and varnashrama, generally people think, yeah, it's all useless, it's not required. Yeah, actually it's not required, because Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Eha bahya," right? He said this is external. But for whom it is not required? For a pure devotee. Because that is why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu keeps pushing Ramananda Rai, say something higher, say something higher, say something higher. Hmm. So when it comes to pure devotion, he says, yes, good, okay. Can you speak something more? Okay, then rasas, then Madhurya rasa, etc. But if you are not able to come to the platform of pure devotion, then we have to follow. We have to follow these things. It's important. Otherwise, we will have to just, we will not be able to achieve perfection. Maybe. Maybe, I don't know. There's always extra mercy that Krishna gives, but that is very rare. Very, very rare. So we should remember this. How much can I concentrate? And the test is chanting, right? And our immediate test of concentration on nothing else but Krishna is chanting. How much we are able to think about Krishna. Okay, it might not be directly Krishna. As stage one, it might at least be things about Krishna, meaning maybe somebody's preacher is thinking about preaching activities, but at least he's not thinking about me, mine. That means that is progress. That is some progress. But actual progress is to just be able to simply think about Krishna and nothing else. Meaning Krishna, Radha, their pastimes, how to serve them, all these kinds of things. Okay, nice. I mean, which is why this Bhishmadeva's prayers are very, very, practical guidance for us. How can we get there? Very, very exalted position, Bhishmadev's. Okay, I'll stop here. Any questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Just when you were explaining, I just had I don't know, I can't say a realization, a thought come through. Prabhu, Bhishma Pitama was also attached to the Pandavas, right? And
Yeah.
when he was on his deathbed, he was relaxed because he saw what he wanted to see. He wanted to be sitting on the throne. So like he did not have, like Bharat Maharaj was thinking of where the deer would have gone, where it
Very
is
nice.
gone, where it is gone, where it is gone. But he's not in that situation. He's in a very relaxed situation. And he could concentrate his thoughts on Krishna.
Very nice.
So, I had this realization. And another, I just want to extend another. Prabhu, like you were talking about society and you were talking about this. You're talking about the Varnashram. I don't know how many of us are in the senior citizen category, but I'm talking about myself. In the younger days, I wouldn't be bothered what Prabhu did. Chalo, tum apne raste mein. But now I find, I'm more dependent on him. I'm more sentimental about things, and then I'm breaking. Vice versa, both. And we are in. I don't say we are very good devotees, but we are in that line. But our concentration, the attachment doesn't go. I see my grandchildren, the peer pressure. We don't put them into gurukuls. We put them into convents. What do we want them to turn? Turn into machines to make money and make ends meet. And it's not only about me. It's with 99% of the devotees. You put them into convents. The first step we do is wrong. Then how do you expect them to become devotees, Prabhu?
Yeah. So okay. So two things actually. The first point was very, very insightful that you made, right? That Bhishma Dev was actually happy to see Pandavas. Right. See, this is the beauty of having attachment to devotees. Right. Bhishma Dev was attached to Pandavas because they were devotees, not because they were just, his, whatever, right? Nephews or whatever, right? So it's always nice to be attached to devotees and devotional service, because then our mind will be peaceful, right? This is one very, very deep insight here, right? When Mataji is bringing about, which was not the case with Bharat Maharaj, because he got attached to a non-devotee, right? Dear. So which is why I was saying, it's good to get attached, get attached to Guru, good to get attached to devotees, get attached to Krishna, get attached to something which is but our material, family life, whatever, right? But it should be purely spiritual, right? And if it is purely spiritual, then yes, a very nice point. We'll be peaceful, and if we are peaceful, we can think about Krishna. So the things to look out for is our own material, any kind of material attachment should be we should try to give up by then. And how will we do that? Not by by simply developing attachment to Krishna's devotees, Guru. By just developing that attachment, automatically this attachment to other things go. Now, with respect to Varnashrama, actually, see, there are multiple things actually we need to think about here, right? Of course, see, Gurukul is like next level. Yeah, I think while, for example, if we talk about Varnashram, yeah, money making machines, all that is correct, right? So two things here, right? One that comes to my mind. One is, yeah, if we are really surrendered to Krishna, we might put our children in Gurukul, right? Like it's a minuscule percentage at this point. So we won't even discuss this at this point of time, right? So yeah, we are sending our children to schools, convents, whatever it is, so that yeah, they can. That's fine. I mean, that's not, at least for us, right? At this point of time, there are multiple levels of changes in the society that has to come about, right? One is our own, where we stand today, right? Then next generation, right? So there are two levels, right? So with our own self today, the point I was trying to drive is saying that understanding that I need to at least give up this attachment to my family, to my grandchildren, etc., because parents are there, they will take care. And anyway, for how long am I going to be here? For how many years am I going to see them flourish, grow, whatever, right? It's a temporary thing anyway, right? So first thing is to actually for us to build the right mindset towards how we are looking at our family, society, etc. Now, if we are able to do that, then maybe it's the next step to then talk to our children and how they are dealing with their children, etc. Because it's like a cycle, right? Like if we ourselves are material, we can bring about the change first in ourselves. That's the point I'm trying to make, right? Then maybe we can tell somebody else, right? Or we can give some guidance, right? But the point really I was trying to make was just about our own attachments. Like I said, I was saying, I'm still attached to my body, right? So, and this is going to prevent us, right? And if in case it didn't happen yesterday night, but if say that was my last moment in this material world, then I would have taken birth again. Simple. I would have taken birth again because I didn't think about Krishna, right? So it's we have to just think, saying that really, I mean, do I want to come back again and go through all this nonsense? And it's only going to be worse, right? Kali Yuga is progressing. It's only going to be worse. Do I want this? Absolutely no. The answer is no. When we ask this question, everybody will say no, right? But then in real practice, we have to see, these attachments, are they going to prevent me from thinking about Krishna when my last moment comes? Yeah, I mean, society completely changing, Gurukul, etc. It's is there, but it's still some time far away, right? Which is why actually my Guru Maharaj is he's promoting Varnashrama, but he tells basically people who are already in society, difficult for them to come. So what he recommends is those who are getting married, right? You live in a simple living, do simple living if you can, right? It could be tier 2 town, it could be Varnashrama setup, so that the children that come, that are born, they already are in a little bit more Krishna conscious environment, little less of a demoniac city environment, right? It will be the first change. Now the next generation after them will possibly become a lot more sattvic than the immediate generation, right? So it'll possibly take generations for us to reverse this. uh, but we shouldn't. Uh, it's not just for like whatever state we are in. We still know that somehow I have to increase, develop my attachment to Krishna, increase my attachment to Krishna. And if anything material is preventing me from increasing my attachment to Krishna, then that's a problem. That's the point I'm making, right? It's not so much about, yeah, always I want to present Krishna consciousness in a way to looking at it positively. Positively means, see, I want Krishna, like yesterday I was saying, right? If you want Krishna, if you want to achieve Krishna, what is preventing me from attaining Krishna? That should be my only meditation, right? Now, if when I'm thinking about it, okay, my family comes, then I think, okay, so my family is preventing me. If suppose family didn't come at all, then it's fine. Then that means I'm already at some level of detachment with family, right? But it's not, we are not going the impersonalist way, right? No, I have to give up my family, I have to give up all this attachment. This is all Falgu Vairagya. We are not going that route. We are taking the other route. We are saying, hey, I want to achieve Krishna. What is going to prevent me from doing that? And all those I need to work on. And like we said yesterday, if I have still not made up my mind saying that I want to achieve Krishna, then develop that spiritual desire. The process is simple. We have to develop that intense spiritual desire to achieve Krishna. Then look at saying that if I have this intense desire to achieve Krishna, what is preventing me? Right? And then slowly make sure that, those obstacles, that is Bhakti Vigna Vinashak Narsimhadev, right? Narsimhadev removes those obstacles on the path of bhakti. And then we'll pray to Narsimhadev, saying, Narsimhadev, okay, see, my body is my attachment. Please take away my attachment. Hey, by the way, okay, I've been wanting to say this for last 2 days. I just forgot. How many of you are chanting this? There's a Narsimha mantra from 1.8.18 or 1.18.8. 1 second. No, not 1. What am I talking? Is that Narsimha mantra? Oh, Bhagavate Narsimhaya. 4. Just give me a moment. Hmm. 5.18.8. By the way, so anybody who is who wants some support, help, external help to get over material attachment, this is the verse. Actually, I've been chanting this for my wife and me. We have been chanting this for actually now 3-4 years, and it's pretty powerful.
We can
So 5.18.8.
see on the screen.
Can't hear you.
We cannot see on the screen.
You cannot see the screen. I disconnected. Okay. 1 second. Okay, so this is a nice verse. I'm going to put it on the group also. Just practice this. Just chant. Practice chanting this. Right? It's a verse which actually I'm reading the translation. I offer my respectful obeisances unto Lord Nrsimhadev, the source of all power. O my Lord, who possess nails and teeth just like thunderbolts, kindly vanquish our demon-like desires for fruitive activity in this material world, basically which is all material attachment. Please appear in our hearts and drive away our ignorance, so that by your mercy we may become fearless in the struggle for existence in this material world. So basically this prayer is to remove all tamas, all ignorance. Right? Karma ashaya, demoniac desires to be happy by material activities. Karma ashayan, randhaya, vanquish 2 times, randhaya, tear it apart. Tama grasa, tamas, this tamas, grasa, drive away, twice, everything, randhaya, grasa. Abhayam. So I should fearlessly live in this material world with the only intention to achieve Krishna. Abhayam. Right? If somebody has bhaya about this material world, chant this verse. If somebody has lot of ashaya, desires, material desires, chant this verse. If somebody is in too much of ignorance, moha, chant this verse. Right? I mean, literally, I think all practicing devotees should chant this verse. Very super powerful. and it'll knock off all those obstacles. It's a very nice prayer. Yeah. Okay. Anything else? Okay, we'll stop. Okay, जय श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय, जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय, वांछा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिंधुभ्यो च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, समवेत गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। हरे कृष्णा
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare
Dhanavad.